So we're getting a mix of English and Spanish tonight because Deacon couldn't make it this evening. Today's story is a story of Martha and Mary and Lazarus. Today is the feast day of St. Martha. Martha is the responsible older sister. She does the work. She takes care of things, and she has
Marta es la hermana mayor, es la responsable, es la que hace el trabajo de la casa.
She's like an older sister has been left to take care of the family. And so she feels like, at least, that everything is her responsibility.
Por ser la hermana mayor, es la que se ha dejado encargada la familia y siente que todo es su responsabilidad.
And she experiences anxiety, what we call anxiety, stress, worry.
Ella sufre de ansiedad, de preocupaciones, de apuros por el hecho de que es la hermana mayor.
And just as we're familiar with this now here in the 2000s, they were very much aware of it. There was many things to be anxious about in Mary's world. Life could be very difficult, and if you and things could fall apart very easily in terms of health and welfare and so forth.
Así como estamos ahora, ellos en ese tiempo sabían de las dificultades que sufrían, de problemas de salud, del trabajo, tenían esas ansiedades igual que ahora tenemos.
Today we can be anxious or worried about many things. I mean, we can have our choice of things that we can worry about or be concerned about. Certainly, top of the list right now is the coronavirus and what's that going to mean? What's it going to mean to my health? What's it going to mean to my job? How am I going to be able to keep my family safe? And, how am I going to get through this situation?
Hoy en día tenemos muchas de esas mismas preocupaciones de qué escoger. Por ejemplo, ahora con el coronavirus, de que muchas familias se preocupan de qué va a pasar con la salud de mi familia, por el trabajo, por las finanzas, todo eso son las preocupaciones de ahora.
We're looking to a future where some businesses might go bankrupt, and we're worried and concerned about what whether we'll be able to keep working and being able to make the money we need to support our family and take care of our loved ones. And there's a million other little things that we can be anxious and worried about, that we can concern ourselves about our relationships. Is someone our friend, or is someone not our friend? Is someone going to what's some other people going to say about us? And we can work ourselves into a kind of a crazy situation.
Como ahora en la situación con esto que está pasando, muchos negocios están en el de que si van a cerrar. La familia, tenemos muchos millones de preocupaciones, que apurarnos de la familia, de los amigos, y todo eso lo tenemos nosotros, de que son nuestras preocupaciones. Tenemos 1,000,000 de qué escoger.
And the big problem about this is if we're very anxious, if we're living in fear, it is very difficult for us to behave in our lives as a loving Christian. When we're acting out of fear, we pull in, we're defensive. Our mind is set on, we're so tensed up and pulled in. It's hard for us then. It becomes an impediment to our life in Christ. It becomes an impediment to our salvation. It can get in the way of us living as joyful, loving Christians. This is what we're called to do, is to live as joyful, loving Christians.
Con eso de las preocupaciones, con la ansiedad, con el miedo que tiene, se nos impide ser cristianos. Por el mismo ansiedad, por el mismo miedo, se nos hace más difícil vivir con Cristo. vivir y abrirnos a la vida cristiana.
So we need to be aware. We need to be aware when we are living out of anxiety. When we can see ourselves, we can kind of step back and look at ourselves and say, oh, I'm living out of fear and anxiety. That's what when someone asks me a question, I chopped their head off. I screamed at them. I yelled at them. I threw my shoe at them. That's why I'm acting the way I'm acting now. I'm not really considering them. I'm not really paying attention to them. I'm not being nurturing to them because this fear and anxiety has overwhelmed me. And it can easily happen in this world. I mean, just driving on the freeway for me can put me into this state. But we have to be aware of it. It's not just something to toss off and say, oh, well, I'm worried about stuff. It is extremely important to living out our Christian life, to living our life in Christ.
Por esa razón también tenemos que estar conscientes de nuestros miedos y de esa ansiedad de cuando lo estamos pasando a otra gente, de que si tratamos, nos frustramos con otra gente y ellos lo llevan. Nosotros tenemos que estar conscientes de que nuestra ansiedad, nuestro miedo nos está limitando a abrirnos a ser un buen cristiano. Y al estar consciente, eso nos va a ayudar a abrirnos un poquito mejor a vivir la vida de Cristo.
Some stress in our, we are going to have to face the work that we have to do in a given day. We have to do the work. We have to take care of the people around us. And that is going to cause some stress in us. And some stress in our lives is natural and sometimes helps us to push us along and keep us going. But we have to be able to be aware of seeing when it has overcome us and gotten in the way. And we need then to be able to sit and relax for a minute. We need to be able to take a few minutes off and sit at the foot of Jesus and just be there with him and let him comfort us. That is to spend some time in prayer, spend some time in relationship to Christ, and help to loosen our shoulders a little bit and lessen that anxiety on us so that we can be the loving, joyous Christians that Jesus wants us to be.
Al momento de que hacemos todo esto, sabemos que nos va a llegar estrés, nos va a llegar esa ansiedad, pero tenemos que estar conscientes de que vamos a reconocer ese estrés y nos vamos a tomar un tiempo para relajarnos, para abrirnos, para estar al pie de Jesús y ser buen cristiano al pie de Jesús para que nos ayude a vivir esa vida más, abrir nuestros corazones a Cristo, reconocer eso en nosotros, para vivir una vida mejor abierta a Cristo.
Thank you.